welcome to TiVi Tuan-san News at 6. My name is Emma Doe. In today's news, the missing helicopter in southern Vietnam found in a forest. The final debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And the search for the downed Malaysia Airlines flight delayed due to bad weather. To today's top story, the third and final debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump got underway today. The two candidates went head-to-head on abortion, with Clinton defending women's choice in healthcare, while Trump argued against it. On the topic of undocumented migrants, Trump brought up his plan for a wall between North America and Mexico. Clinton attacked his statements, citing failure to even raise the plan with the Mexican president. Fox News moderator Chris Wallace guided the rest of the 1.5-hour debate over topics including debt, immigration, the Supreme Court, and each candidate's fitness to be president. Over to news in Vietnam. The bodies of 3 pilots from the downed helicopter in the south of Vietnam have been found. According to Vietnamese news agency VN Express, military officers found the aircraft yesterday morning in a valley in the Bà Rịa, Vũng Tàu province. Around 400 people were involved in the 24-hour search. The 3 pilots were conducting a training session in the helicopter when it crashed on Tuesday morning. They did not survive the crash. A survey showing excessive levels of arsenic in a number of Vietnamese-made fish sauce has come under fire for misleading the public. The consumer advocacy group called vietnamese-australian tested 150 fish sauces on the market for the survey. They found that close to 70% of the samples contained more arsenic than allowed, but various health professors have told state news agencies VN Express and Deutsche News that the survey did not distinguish between organic and inorganic arsenic. According to the United Nations World Health Organization, arsenic is highly toxic only in its inorganic form. Fish and seafood naturally contain organic arsenic. vietnamese-Australian's Deputy General Secretary has since confirmed in a press conference that the arsenic the survey found was in its organic form and that Vietnamese fish sauce was safe. Vietnam has announced its support for US military intervention in the Asia-Pacific region to maintain peace and stability. Earlier in the week, the Vietnamese Vice Defense Minister met up with the US Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in South and Southeast Asia. The US representative confirmed the US would not change its so-called rebalance strategy in the region. The latest reaffirmation of ties between the US and Vietnam comes amid growing uncertainty over whether the next US president will keep China in check. Japan's beer group giants are considering bidding for a share of the state-owned Saigon Beer alcohol beverage group. The Nikkei Asian Review reports both Asahi and Kirin may fight for a stake in Vietnamese beer in an auction next month. The Vietnamese government currently holds a majority share of Saigon Beer alcohol beverage and Hanoi Beer alcohol beverage, whose products together make up 60% of the country's market. As part of an earlier plan, the Vietnamese government aims to sell its entire holdings of beer by the end of 2017. With a shrinking domestic market, the Japanese Asahi and Kirin are looking at expanding their markets overseas. In other world news, thousands of Iraqis are taking shelter in northeastern Syria as the fight for ISIS-controlled Mosul moves into its 3rd day. A Syrian official in the region told Reuters News there was an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 people already over the border and a further 3,000 people waiting to cross. Most of those are women, children, and the elderly. The displaced are currently being housed in a refugee camp in Hasaka province. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees estimated that as many as 100,000 Iraqis could flee to Syria and Turkey to escape fighting. Authorities say an undersea search for missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 in the southern Indian Ocean will be delayed by up to 2 months because of bad weather. The Boeing 777 disappeared on its way from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in March 2014 with 239 passengers and crew on board. More than 110,000 square metres of the seafloor in the designated search area has already been scoured in the past 2 years. Authorities from Malaysia, Australia and China initially expected to finish the target area by the end of the year. Philippines police have used tear gas to disperse about 1,000 anti-US protesters outside the US embassy in the capital of Manila. The protesters were calling for the removal of US troops in the southern island of Mindanao. Television news footage shows a patrol van, which had come under attack, driving at demonstrators. A Secretary-General of left-wing activist group Bayan Nation told reporters that police made 29 arrests at the rally, while at least 10 people were taken to hospital after being hit by the police van. The rally comes as President Rodrigo Duterte visits China to strengthen relations with the world's second-largest economy. Ties between the Philippines and its former colonial power, the United States, has been deteriorating after Duterte's controversial war on illegal drugs. Back to news in Australia. The Australian Bureau of Statistics has admitted this year's forced shutdown of the website on census night will cost taxpayers $30 million. The head of the ABS told a Senate Estimates Committee on Wednesday night that the move from paper to digital forms was intended to save the ABS $100 million. But due to the website problems, that savings estimate has now come down to $70 million. Chief Statistician David Kalish has apologised for poor judgment and testing the patience of Australians during the census meltdown, adding that there were plenty of lessons to learn from. Approximately 10,000 Australians have refused to complete the 2016 census. That's compared to 13,000 refusals for the 2011 survey. So far, no one has been fined for failing to participate. Potentially deadly dog attacks in the remote community in the Northern Territory are out of control, according to a doctor in the region. Dr. Chris Clohesi told the ABC that he recorded 22 dog bites in a 12-month period. Recently, a child needed plastic surgery after being mauled. The doctor expressed fear that a small child would soon be killed by a vicious dog attack. In a statement to the ABC, the state government said the blame fell onto the local council, who have not enacted effective dog control laws. That's all from TiVi, Tuan-san News at 6. I'm Emma Doe, and thank you for your company.